Police say a 17-year-old was killed and another person injured in a shooting near Glenwood Road and 285.
We just got video of the moments gunfire erupted and left a car.
Yeah, Russ, right now investigators are still trying to figure out who shot a teen girl and injured a man in his 20s. DeKalb police say the two were shot in a neighborhood, but were able to drive about a mile away to a gas station near the DeKalb Farmers Market looking for help.
She was a student at Towers High School in Decatur who had recently been crowned homecoming queen. Her principal described her as an inspiration who touched the lives and hearts of many students.
Just want to cry. Just want to cry. Just want to cry.
This is the heartbreaking story of how a teenage girl lost her life at the hands of her jealous ex-boyfriend. Janie Salazar Chaves was a talented, dedicated young woman with dreams of joining the army. Tragically, she was assassinated by 24-year-old Nikia Dorsey. While she was sitting in her boyfriend's car outside of her house, it was later found that the killer had been in contact with Janie hours before her passing. The evening of November 10th, 2022, was supposed to be a romantic one for Janie Salazar Chaves. Her 24-year-old boyfriend, Brandon Wilson, who was in the army at the time, made a surprise trip home to Decatur, Georgia to visit Janie on Valentine's Day weekend. When he arrived at her house, he asked her to come outside, expecting her to be happy to see him and to have a romantic weekend together after weeks of being apart. Unfortunately, as soon as she got in the car, Brandon noticed something was wrong with his girlfriend. She seemed withdrawn and distracted, as if something else was on her mind. Surprised by her reaction at his arrival and at her sudden change in behavior, Wilson immediately began questioning whether she had started seeing someone else while he was gone and demanded to see her phone. The evening had gotten off to a rocky start, but things were about to get a whole lot worse. While he was searching his girlfriend's phone, Brandon came across a suggestive text from an unknown number. Feeling betrayed, he confronted his girlfriend about the text, and she immediately called the unknown number. But as soon as the person on the other end picked up and heard Wilson's voice, he hung up the phone without saying a word. A short while later, the same unknown number called Janie's phone, but when he saw who the call was from, Brandon picked up the phone. What followed was a heated discussion between the caller and Brandon Wilson, in which they argued over which of them was Janie's boyfriend, suggesting that the caller had been previously involved with her. During the conversation, the man on the other end of the call demanded that Janie give him back his belongings. After the argument, Janie Salazar Chaves and her boyfriend decided to put the incident behind them and went out to enjoy the rest of the evening together. At around 11 p.m., the couple arrived back at the house and stayed in the car for a while. According to police reports, the tension from the last few hours had been resolved, and Wilson sat in the car with his girlfriend while she argued with someone on the phone, but it was not revealed if she was talking to the same man from earlier that evening. That was when Brandon Wilson noticed the red light shining on his face, as if a laser was being pointed at him. Before either of them could react, a man in black clothing walked up to the car pointing a handgun with the laser at Janie and Brandon and immediately opened fire. Both of them suffered injuries, but Wilson was able to turn the car around quickly and flee as the shooter continued to empty the magazine onto the car. Fearing for his life and for his girlfriend's safety, Brandon drove the car to the nearby Valero gas station on Glenwood Road across from the Decatur Farmers Market, where he called 911. As soon as the police arrived, they saw that Brandon Wilson had a single gunshot wound on his leg, while his girlfriend had been shot multiple times in the arm and torso. Disturbingly, police mentioned that they found Wilson's silver Lexus sprayed with over 20 bullet holes. Both Janie and Brandon were taken to the hospital, but unfortunately, Janie succumbed to her injuries on the way to the emergency room. Although Brandon was also in critical condition, he later recovered from his injuries at the hospital. Upon hearing the news of Janie's passing, the Decatur community was devastated, especially Janie's mother, Amparo Salazar, who was understandably inconsolable. In a heartbreaking video released after the hit, Amparo Salazar, Janie's mother, expressed her grief and pain, saying that her daughter was a loving, kind, responsible person, and that young people should not be able to buy guns so easily due to their lack of responsibility.
More, buy everybody gun, especially young people, because no have a responsibility. This guy may choose my daughter, my son, him.
On November 18th, 5 days after Janie's passing, the Decatur community held a funeral service at the Dawn Memorial Park for Janie, in which some of her classmates from the Towers High School Air Force JROTC program helped to transport the casket.
El lugar donde vivió por mucho tiempo con sus papás.
In memory of Janie, several of her classmates and teachers shared touching words about their experiences and favorite memories of her. Her mother and father can be seen in the background with pained expressions as Janie's friends, classmates, and members of the community pay their respects to the family. Janie Salazar Chaves had a promising future and dreams of joining the Army after her high school graduation. In an Instagram post shared by Towers High School, which was where Janie attended as a junior, her classmates, teachers, and friends shared their condolences and expressed their love for their 2002 homecoming queen. Several members of the Air Force JROTC program, of which Janie was a member, showed their respects and honored the memory of Janie in multiple touching social media posts. Some of the neighbors and nearby residents expressed their frustration with Georgia's gun laws, claiming that it's far too easy for anyone to get a gun.
Put the guns down. You know, they've passed these laws for any and everybody can go get a gun, and it's really sad that that law was passed.
While the DeKalb County community mourned the tragic loss of Janie, the DeKalb County Police Department wasted no time in putting together the evidence to hunt down, identify, and arrest Janie Salazar Chavez's assailant. It didn't take long for them to narrow the search down to one prime suspect. Several days after the hit, an anonymous tip led investigators to a 24-year-old man named Nakia Dunta Dorsey, who had reportedly had a relationship with Janie before the incident. After obtaining a warrant, police found social media messages that indicated Dorsey had been in contact with Salazar Chaves before the incident, and his phone's location data pinpointed him at her home prior to the shooting. According to the anonymous tipster, Dorsey was living in an apartment on Mount Zion Road in Morrow, Georgia, a suburb of Atlanta that lies roughly 18 miles south from where the shooting took place. Shortly after, a warrant was put out for Dorsey's arrest for the charges of malice homicide and 2 counts of aggravated assault. Throughout the course of the investigation, a chilling home security video recorded from a neighbor's house was revealed, in which the muzzle flashes from Dorsey's gun can be seen in the distance, and the sound of over 20 gunshots being fired in quick succession can be heard. A few seconds after the shots, the same silver Lexus that police found at the Valero gas station is shown driving away from the scene.
The video captured what sounds like at least 20 gunshots and shows a silver sedan driving away. That car looks similar to the vehicle DeKalb police found riddled with bullet holes at a nearby Valero gas station a short time later.
It took a few months for police to get everything ready for the arrest, but on February 3rd, 2023, the DeKalb Police Department tracked down and arrested Nakia Dorsey without incident at his apartment and took him into custody. On Monday, August 7th, 2023, Dorsey was convicted on charges of felony homicide, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and 2 counts of aggravated assault. The judge, Letitia Jackson, sentenced him to life in prison plus 25 years to run consecutively. It was later revealed that the only reason Dorsey carried out the shooting was because he was jealous of finding out that Janie was dating another man. The senseless homicide of the teenager and homecoming queen has left her family and community devastated, and the only consolation for Janie's friends and family is that justice had been served, and Nakia Dorsey will spend his life in prison, where he belongs. As an only child, Janie was survived by her loving parents, who described her as a loving and caring person, as well as a host of other family members and friends from her community, where she was a valued and respected member thanks to her natural, strong, and genuine personality and her unwavering sense of responsibility. At her school, Janie took on several leadership roles, including the role of community commander of her Air Force Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps program. After fulfilling her dream of joining the Army, Janie wanted to become a dental hygienist. Her entire school remembers her as an inspirational and positive force in her community, which is part of the reason she was chosen as homecoming queen. In her obituary, several classmates and friends took the opportunity to talk about her incredible positive impact that meeting Janie had on their lives. Although nothing can bring back Janie Salazar Chaves, hopefully her loved ones can find some closure and begin to heal now that the case is closed. Rest in peace, Janie.